All right, today we're going to be working with a box plot. So what is a box plot? A box plot, or sometimes called a box and whisker plot, is a display that shows the values in a data set are distributed, or that just means how far spread out your data is. So in order to create a box plot, you need 5 measures. These are the 5 measures that you would need. You need the lower extreme, which is the minimum number in the data set. You need the lower quartile, which is the median of the lower half of the data, and I'll explain what that means later. You need the median, which is the center of the data. You need the upper quartile, which is the median of the upper half of the data, and I'll explain what that means, upper half. And upper extreme means the maximum number in the data. So these are pretty much some new vocabulary words except for the word median, so we're going to go ahead and work through a set of data to show each of those vocabulary words. So here we go. So here are 8 test scores that were on a science test. So I have ordered them from least to greatest. So the very first number in my data set on the left side is going to be my smallest number. So that is my minimum, which is also called the lower extreme. Now the highest number, largest number, or maximum number in the data is 100. So that is going to be called my upper extreme. Now that I have my lower extreme and upper extreme, I can find my median. That is just finding the center of the data. So I can cross off the highest number and the lowest number and keep doing that until I reach the center. And here is the center of the data. It falls between 70 and 81. So I would need to add those two numbers and divide by 2 to get that 79.5. Now what I've done is I split my data in half. So I have 4 numbers on this side and 4 numbers on this side. This is called the lower half because it's half of the data and it's the smaller numbers, so lower half. So the median of the lower half falls between 75 and 76. So that's called the lower quartile. So I got 75.5 by adding those two together and dividing by 2. Upper half is the larger numbers in the data set on the right side of the median. So it's half of the data, but on the higher side. So that's going to fall between 89 and 91, which if I add them two together, I get 90. So what I just did is I split my data into 4 pieces. So I have 25% of my data here, 25% of my data here, 25% of my data here, and 25% of my data here. Because I have 4 pieces, 1/4 is 25%. So now that I have all my measures, I can go ahead and make my box plot. So here we go. We're going to create a number line that should be able to display the data. We're going to put the points above the number line. So here we go. Here's my lower extreme between 60 and 65. My upper extreme is at 100. Now I'm going to put my lower quartile and upper quartile. Lower quartile is about 75. Upper quartile is at 90. Now I'm going to put a point for my median, which is at about 80. Now I'm going to create what they call the box and whisker plot, where it came from, that old phrase of box and whisker plot. It's because you create a box around your lower quartile and upper quartile. You create a line where your median is. Now we have a box. And then the whiskers are where the lower extreme connects to the box and the upper extreme connect to the box. So here's the box, and here are your whiskers. So you can just see how spread out the data is. All right, so let's look at a box plot and go ahead and find those measures. So here is a box plot of some students' heights. So we're going to go ahead and just identify the following measures using the box plot. So my lower extreme is at the start of the box plot, which is at this point right here. So my lower extreme is 45 inches. The start of the box right here is the lower quartile, so that's at 46 inches. It lines up with that 46. The median, remember I said, is the line in the box, so that median is right here, and it lines up with 48 inches. All right, now I'm going to find the upper quartile, which is where the box ends, just the box, and it lines up with 52 inches. Now I'm going to find my upper extreme, that's the last point on the whisker, and that lines up with 57 inches. I can also go ahead and find the range. Remember, range is the smallest number subtracted from the largest number. So that would be my upper extreme, my largest number, my lower extreme, the smallest number, and subtract them. So that would be my 57 minus 45, which is 12 inches. All right, so let's think about this. Which measures below are not displayed or cannot be found using the box plot? Were we able to find the median? Yes. It was that line in the box. It was at 48 inches. Were we able to find the mode of these students' heights? No, because we don't know the actual data set. We just know where it starts, where it ends, and how spread out it is. So we can't find the mode. Could we find the range? Yes, we said it was 12 inches. Our lowest number, highest number, and subtract them. Were we able to find the mean? No, because we don't see the data. We just see how far spread out the data is. Can we see the amount that was surveyed to find these students' heights? No, we cannot, because we do not have the actual numbers of each of the students that were surveyed. So those are the three things we cannot find on a box plot. So let's look at one more box plot. Here is time spent exercising for some students. Now be very careful on this one because the number line is not the beginning of the box plot. The beginning of the box plot starts at 30. So our lower extreme is 30 minutes. Our lower quartile, start of the box here, lines up with 45. Median, line in the box, is at 75. Upper quartile, the end of the box, lines up with 90. Upper extreme, the end of the box in whisker plot, or just the end of the whisker, 105 minutes. Okay, let's go ahead and find our range. Be very careful here. It's upper extreme minus lower extreme, which would have been 105 minus 30, which is 75 minutes exercising. And that is end of day 1 of box plot.